Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say, it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the program. Welcome to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. We got a good show lined up. We'll get the thoughts of good old Buddy Martin from the Buddy Martin Show, and then we'll have Gator wide receiver Trent Whittemore join us later. But if you missed it last night, the Chargers beat the Raiders. They had a lightning delay, believe it or not, out there.
Oh, I turned it off for them.
And so Chargers win 28-14. They're a good football team. Justin Herbert's a really good player. But let's head on to the on the Titan Tomorrow hotline, and let's head on down to Ocala. Be joined by Buddy Martin. Good morning, Buddy. How are you?
Good morning, Shane. How are you? By the way, is that the golden dulcet tones of the Gator Radio Network analysts I hear coming through there, pal?
Well, I don't know about all that, but yeah, I had to call the game with Mick. And dang, I'm 0 for 1, buddy. They may get rid of me.
Yeah, you're bad luck, charm. But you did a good job. And we had a couple of comments last night on my show. One woman said she was listening. She said, gosh, it doesn't sound like Mick. She thought it was supposed to be Mick. And so, yeah, you were. But I thought you did really well. I enjoyed it. And you brought up some good points, which we may or may not talk about today. But anyway, good job.
Yeah, I appreciate it, buddy. We got a quick Facebook Live here brought to you by Meldon Law, the only official law firm part of the Florida Gator. John says, I really missed the Peyton and Eli broadcast last night. I agree with you, John. I looked for it. I guess they're only doing so many Monday night games. And he says, how do you have a weather delay inside a dome? I think they had the roof open before the game. I don't know if you saw this, buddy. But then they had some lightning strikes right around the facility. And so they delayed the game for about 30 or 40 minutes. Very interesting.
Well, I turned it off at 21-0, whatever it was. And
this was before the game.
Oh, it was before. Oh, no wonder it was so late when I turned it. Still going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was not even halftime after my show when I turned it on. I thought, what is going on here? Well, yeah, NFL is going to get a lot more interesting. For me, it got interesting with what happened with Brady. That was quite a night. And I talked last night to a guy who covered the game, and it was like being in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was a good game. I thought the Patriots played well. I thought Belichick had a good game plan. But, yeah, it was the whole atmosphere, the setting was very, very cool to see. Buddy, before we jump into the Gators, baseball, you got the wild card game tonight. Yankees and Red Sox. How about that?
Listen, I've been all over that baseball. I mean, that was an unbelievable finish. The Rays were about to sweep the Yankees. And then they went to the ninth, and it was 0-0. And, of course, the Yankees scored a run, and they won and made the wild card series. But I'm really getting into baseball. I'm almost ashamed to admit it in our shows because people don't like us to talk anything with Gator football. And we talk about golf or baseball, drives them nuts. But, yeah, we're getting underway. Race play, I think, Thursday. And a lot of folks happy about the Braves being in.
Who are the Rays paired up with? The winner of this game?
Wild card game, yeah, I think that's right. I got it somewhere. I'll look it up, but I have to go back and look. I may put the whole schedule down, and but I'm not going to watch it again until Thursday. And I might watch it inning or two, but here's the schedule I got here. It says we'll play. Winner of AL wild card game versus Rays.
That's the winner tonight between the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Yeah, so they'll play one of them. And they've owned pretty much both those teams. It's amazing how well they've done against those teams. I mean, look at the payroll they got versus what the Red Sox and Yankees got. I don't know who I dislike the most, Yankees or Red Sox.
I'm right there with you. I hate the Yankees more than I do the Red Sox. I have no reason why. So, buddy, let me get your thoughts on what happened in Lexington.
Yeah, we could spend a while on that, couldn't we? Shane, I got sat down this morning. I know I'm not going to give you the direct answer. I thought, what is going on here and how bad are things? And if you don't mind me skipping ahead, I will say this. All is not lost yet for the Gators, but they are definitely on a scavenger hunt. They got to find something that happened. There's lots of reasons it could happen, and you think, how did they get here? I have some thoughts about that. And I think I said to you last night, I seem to be one of the few people who are that upset about how Mullen coached the last 2 minutes of the first half. I know it's been discussed much. I heard Dan's explanation. I wrote a column about it, and I still don't quite get it. Shane Matthews, if you were the quarterback, you'd have pushed your coach. Coach, come on, let's go. Let's keep it rolling. We got time. We got 3 timeouts. We got the ball to 22 after what it was first down. At that point, it wasn't 56. Anyway, that was a mistake, in my opinion. I'll defer to the wisdom of the great play caller. But to me, I just know one thing. I know a certain coach that you played for in that situation who would not have eaten the timeouts and gone to the locker room.
I agree with that 100%. However, you're talking 2 totally different offenses, night and day. Now, if this would have been last year with a pure passer, with Kyle Trask at quarterback, I could see him pushing the ball. But we don't have anybody on our roster that's a consistent thrower. I don't know how to phrase it, but that's the only reason I can think of, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Coach Spurrier would have done it. I believe we would have done it last year with Kyle Trask at quarterback. But we're not a team that can drop back and throw it 30, 40 times. And I don't know what his reasoning was. I just think that I didn't think we were very aggressive the entire night calling plays. But the biggest play in the game was the block field goal. It's that simple. I mean,
before you go there, excuse me for interrupting you, Shane, on your show. I just want to stay on this point and then just get to the block field goal, because I think what you're saying here is that Dan Mullen didn't have confidence in his quarterback. And to move the ball, and even you said on the broadcast, pretty soon you got to throw it downfield. Now I get the 3, 4, whatever it was they were playing, drop back, drop 8, whatever. That's not a brand new defense. We've seen that many times. So is it your quarterback's not coached up? The receivers not running the right routes? Always Mark Stoops' defense is brilliant. I mean, I'm going to give him some credit, but they were coached up. They had a plan. I didn't get the feeling that the Gators did.
Well, like I said, I believe Mark Stoops' style of play gives Dan problems calling plays. Yes, I would have loved to seen us take shots down the field. I think we threw 2 balls deep. One we caught, one we got pass interference. There was nothing else even run down the field. I don't know the reason behind that. I don't know if it's because of how they saw him play on tape. I don't know. I just know that anytime we lined up in a 3-by-1 formation, trips 3 receivers to one side, a single guy to the other, majority of the game, they rolled to a 1 high safety, leaving that single receiver one-on-one. And that's where I was hoping we would attack, because look, throwing a deep ball is the safest thing you can do in football. All that other short stuff across the middle and throwing it sideways is dangerous, in my opinion. So, like I said, you're not going to see any passing attack no matter what quarterback plays on this roster like you saw the last year and a half. You will never see that again here, in my opinion.
Right, I get you. I agree, but I want to say, okay, something's always open. All right, what happened to the running game? They couldn't get to the edge. We were shut down. They didn't have a power game inside. They were getting they got 382 yards. I'm not saying they were totally insipid. I'm just saying that there's some play that works. Get into it. It didn't seem like there was a whole lot working there for Mullen's offense, although he keeps throwing the 382 out there. Like, we had a good game. We did this. It wasn't a well-called game, in my opinion, or a well-executed game. And it was getting back to your point, and you top that off with the mistake on special teams and having the block field goal. And the block field goal was devastating. To run it back was even more devastating. And I said it last night, and I think you might have even commented on it, but we've seen this before, Alabama-Auburn in the kick 6 game, where there were too many big guys on the field, and the ball, there was nobody to run down the guy with returning. And look what we had. We had a very similar. That's not new either. Many people know that and know that you have to have somebody. And they didn't execute. They did not make the tackle. So a lot going on there. Like I said, it's a scavenger hunt from here on, and I don't know what's going to happen to you.
Yeah. So back to the offense. What I saw, I do think we did execute well at times. We were very methodical, though. And what we did is we had a lot of long drives, and then we get some penalties, get backed up, and have to punt. But what we did is what Mark Stoops and defensive-minded head coaches want you to do.
Make a mistake.
Play field position. Mm-hmm. Don't give up a big play. Make you drive the length of the field. Mm-hmm. Eventually, bad things are going to happen. Mm-hmm. Holding calls, false start penalties, whatever it is. And that's what happened to us. Yep. So I don't think the plan was horrible. I really still think I went back and watched. I think Emory played really well. I just thought we weren't aggressive enough on certain formations where you could strike quickly.
Like
and
what?
That's like what?
Well, yeah, give me an example. Slant? What do you
think?
No.
Hell with throwing slant. I'm talking about throwing down the field.
Oh, down the field. Yeah. And you brought it up in the broadcast. Yeah, you mentioned the broadcast.
Yes. I'm all about throwing completions, moving the chains, but eventually we got to take 7 to 8 shots a game because nothing bad. The only bad thing that happens on a deep ball is it gets picked off. Who cares then? It's better than a punt usually. Mm-hmm. So, but again, back to the block field goal. That was the biggest turning point in the game. We had 2 crucial penalties that really hurt us outside the 8 false starts. We got the ball at Kentucky's 40 on one change of possession, but DeJuan Black on a punt return hit a Kentucky dude like 5 yards out of bounds. That backed us up. That's just, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. And then on the interception that we ran down to about the 10, I think it was Valentina did a crackback block that backed us up. We sputtered around, ended up trying. I think we kicked. Maybe where we got. I think that's where we got the field goal blocked. So we had a chance to go up 13-7. Instead, we go down 14-10 or 13-10. They missed the extra point. We blocked it. So what Joseph says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, Dan Mullen could very easily be 1-3 against Kentucky if Felipe Franks doesn't break his leg. That's a fair statement.
Good point. And by the way, they are. It's amazing. If I said to you what their record was in their last 8 games, you think about it from the standpoint of long, big picture, that this team could be 3-5 is amazing. And yet you say, well, this, well, that. What? You can't keep making it. Well, we had this problem. Well, that happened, or where players opted out, or all the 3 losses last year.
Studios, little technical difficulties there. People hacking into Facebook, I guess. I don't know what's going on. I heard it shut down yesterday. I don't really know, but
5 hours.
Anyway, we got a Facebook Live I want to read here, buddy, and I'm not quite sure what David's referring to. He said, that's fair, and really whoever says they are wrong, very rare. See Shane and our different takes on Trevor Lawrence. He is wrong. I have no idea what any of that means. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a heck of a player just because he's not playing great right now. He's got some of the worst talent in the National Football League. Between him and the Jets quarterback, it's just 2 bad football teams, horrible football teams. And David says, I disagree with John on our receivers are getting open compared to the past. There's a guy who breaks down the game on film. Interesting takes. Yeah, I don't see us getting a whole lot of separation either, though, just being, in live action. It's easy to go back on tape and rewind it after a ball's thrown saying this guy's open. So, and plus, we don't know what the quarterback's taught from the reads. But here's the thing. I said it before the season, buddy. We weren't going to be a great throwing team.
Well, you don't have to be a great throwing team. You just got to be a good throwing team. And I think that, listen, you ask a young guy who, although he's been there 4 years, who's never started an SEC game to bail you out at the end. We're used to seeing that with this team. They somehow get it done when they really shouldn't. And when you get in games like that, where you're stalemated by your defense, you're asking a young, inexperienced quarterback, although we saw him take it 99 yards against Alabama, to pull it out for you at the end. And he didn't execute, and a lot of other people didn't execute, including the guy snapping the ball and the offensive lineman jumping off. And look, all of it doesn't matter because what's going to be used as the excuse, and probably justifiably so, is the fact that they couldn't get the timing right on the offensive line. So what happened? There were some comments made about that. Even Emory said, I've got to be louder. I don't mean to know if he means the clap which is what they go on, or if it was the barking of the signals, which I doubt.
Good for Emory for sticking up for that and saying it's his fault or whatever. But look, something wasn't working there. Obviously,
No, yeah.
They've been using the clap forever.
Right.
It is what it is. But here's the thing. You just say they had a Emory making his first road start. Very true. But people forget we had 1st and goal to tie the ball game on the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
He throws a touchdown pass on a wide receiver screen. Copeland slips. Then we jump all sides. So so my point is the whole narrative here. It's a game. They always talk about football being a game of inches. A play here, a play there. And if we score there, people's talking about what a great drive it was to get down there. You see what I'm saying? So we didn't put it in the end zone, but I'm telling you right now, this is not a quarterback thing. That's what's driving me crazy. I had 100 people talk to me about it yesterday. I don't know if Anthony's going to be a really good player or not. Nobody knows, but I do know this, that we're not going to throw the football like people think we're going to throw the football last year. They got to get that out of their head.
I'll ask you a question. Mm-hmm. And again, I don't put the blame on Emory on this one. I put it on the coaching staff, among other things, and the mistakes on the special teams and the inability to snap the ball. But having said that, given the quarterback situation, I know what you're going to say, but ask yourself this question. Do you need – you can't be one-dimensional. At times, the Gators were one-dimensional on offense. If Steve Spurrier were the head coach, would he give more snaps this next couple of weeks to AR-15? Probably. Would he bench? But I'm just saying.
No. Here's my reply to that. I have no problem with that. But you can't compare the two coaches or the two systems because everybody's looking at the passing game as being an issue. So if one of Coach Spurrier's quarterbacks wasn't playing well, he would make a change because the next guy is the same guy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's no different in Dan Mullen's system. We got 2 dual threat guys that are really good runners, decent passers. So it's not like you're going to a legitimate thrower. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I want to say this. Everything is up for grabs. It's a whole new season now. It's a scavenger hunt. You got to find wins someplace. What changes are necessary? What changes should be considered? And no matter, it's not saying it's Emory's fault. I'm just saying, is that one of the things that they'll look at? Well, I think it is.
Maybe so, but okay. So if that's the case, and I think you're kind of saying, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I heard some other people say this yesterday. The season is somewhat over. The chances of going to Atlanta are so slim. Yeah. Get ready for next year. Okay. If you want that theory, then Zach Carter doesn't need to play. Anybody that's a senior, we need to play all the young guys then.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying.
So if you're a senior or a guy on this team and you want to go out and not go 8-4 again, and we're just going to throw a quarterback in there, whether it's a quarterback, just a young running back, let's play all the freshman receivers, whatever it is, but we're focusing on the quarterback because that's the most important position. You're basically telling these other guys, we're not going to try. We're still going to try to win the game, but we're more trying to get this guy some experience to see if he can play or not. I just don't think that's the right way to approach it because you're going to lose guys in the locker room.
I hear what you're saying. That is a concern. But my question is, do you play a bat hand? Just keep going back and say, well, let's try to go for 9-3 and go to the Citrus Bowl or whatever it may be. Is that what we're willing to accept? And here's what I will say. I think one of the most interesting statistics from the Steve Spurrier era, buddy, in his 12 years, every player that suited up for him won a minimum of 9 games every year. Mm-hmm. Okay, average. So,
so going 9-3 is still a damn good year. Obviously, you want to win championships, but that is not realistic this year. So, do you want to go out and go 8-4, 7-5 to just try to build on something next year? And I don't agree with that. I agree you go try to win the game.
Okay, and I wrote down in my notes today, it's not about Georgia. It's not even about LSU. It's about Vanderbilt. That may be laughable, but that is true. You have to fix some things. I think what you have to add, and you've heard a lot of people on this show and personally, where do we go from here? A lot of people, and I was one of them, bought into the idea this could be a championship contending team. That's off the table. That's not happening. Okay. Are Gator fans willing to accept that and say, well, let's still play and let's not make any changes, et cetera, et cetera? It's a tough balance to play for what you got now versus next year. And the opt-outs do come into play because that means that probably when you get to the bowl game, which won't be more than likely New Year's 6, although this is a weird season, you're probably going to have to face up to the fact some players are going to go out. And they did last year and they would this year, like Carter, like you mentioned. So it's a very delicate balance. And what do you think the Gator fans' expectations are? Will they start bailing? There already people, if they don't beat Vanderbilt 62-0, people will say, well, they're no good. It's already got that negative flow to it right now. And how do you deal with it? It's a tough deal for Dan Mullen. And by the way, who got criticized a lot yesterday for not owning up the fact that he probably got out-coached. And tonight, by the way, if I might say so, the person who asked that question, "Do you out-coach?" which is a gutsy question, by the way, will be hosting her own show with Graham Hall. And Cassie Hill was on Paul Feinbaum yesterday talking about it. He was asking, what did Mullen say? Why did he say that? And, it's a tough question to ask, but I'll ask you, did Dan Mullen get out-coached?
Out-coached is that. I didn't think we coached very well. Whether they out-coached us or not, I still think if we don't, with all the silly penalties, if you just miss that field goal, we win the game. That was the biggest play. But that's what I'm telling you. Every little thing, and our protection was just not very solid there. Left side just broke down, and they blocked it with ease. But yeah, I don't think we coached our best game. I didn't think from a play calling standpoint. I talk about what I think a great play caller Dan is, a schemer. I didn't think it was one of his better games. And I'm not, like I told you, some of these coaches have issues with going against other teams. And
what do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. Dan is 2-2 against Mark Stoops. Yeah, and as one of our listeners said, realistically could be 1-3.
Yeah, no, I want to make sure I clarified that. Yeah, you're right, and I agree. It's obviously Stoops has done the best job did better than Nick Saban did, in terms of defense. Yeah,
well, there's the way they set up, and they try to take away the quarterback runs, right. And just I think they're very well prepared when they play against us. And Missouri went up and down the field on them. Now Missouri's got a pro style type quarterback, but other teams have struggled against them. But I think I thought the weakness of the Kentucky defense was the secondary. He's put a bunch of guys in the last few years in the National Football League, but they've lost a lot of those guys. And that's why I felt like we should throw it over their heads a bunch. But that's my mentality. And some people don't think
it's a good mentality.
It can be good. It can be bad. If you got joint pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule a free consultation at QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. Give them a call today. That's 352-400-4550. A few more minutes with Buddy here. We had some issues with Facebook. I think people had lots of issues with Facebook yesterday. I'm not getting any
I just wondered
comments now. So
right, I just wonder if I had to repeat some of the stuff we said in that little session we did, because probably that's gone. And you opened up the show asking some questions. So, and I had a few thoughts. And I want to know from you, what does it come down to when you're trying to win? What are the condiments? We kind of know it, but let's go back to the basics, if I may, Shane. Say it comes down to recruiting, which, as we know, has been a little above average, not great, but the transfer portal has helped. Comes down to coaching and strategy. I think they fell a little short against Kentucky there. It comes down to performance and execution, which at times was very poor against Kentucky. And it comes down to basically good fortune. That's always plays in there as well. Do you agree with those?
Yeah, I believe from an execution standpoint, I would say if I'm grading or however you want to phrase it. I thought offensively, I didn't think our offensive line played very well. Not just because of the penalties. I didn't think we blocked very well. I thought they manhandled us on the line of scrimmage. I think it looked more like what we've seen the last couple of years. We've been talking about what a good job the O-line has done, which they have. And sometimes the other team just whips you. I mean, but from other than that, I thought our running backs ran hard when they had places to run. I thought we threw and caught the ball. I mean, I don't think we had any drops that I can remember. Everything was like clogged up and, just very methodical. That's the word I like to use, because we just methodical. I mean, think about that first drive. We just kind of went down the field. We ended up punting, I believe. The second drive, I think we scored on, but it was just no big plays, just dink here, dunk there, run, quarterback power, just nothing explosive. And again, maybe from their film study, they're like, this is how Kentucky plays. We're not going to be given opportunities to take shots. However, when you lined up in a trips formation, there was an opportunity to take shots.
Well, I mean, if you can turn Dan Mullen's offense to a dink and dunk, you've done your job. And basically, that's what they were for the most part. How much that is on the coaches, how much is that on execution, I don't know. But back to the point you asked earlier, I forget if it was this segment or the one we lost about the blocked field goal. What happened there? Obviously, there was a good play by the defense, and somebody didn't get blocked. And then you could look at the scenario, which every Alabama knows is a nightmare, on the kick six, when you had all those big old linemen who were blocking for the field goal, trying to catch up with these speedy backs and trying to make tackles. Now, Dan said we do practice tackling, believe it or not, with the offensive linemen at the beginning of the year in training camp. Obviously, I'm not saying any one particular offensive lineman, but it's a total mismatch. You saw them take off, and you know it was going to be a touchdown.
They can practice tackling with the offensive lineman for every day for the next year, and they're not tackling a linebacker in space. I mean, that's silly.
So what do?
Well, you don't get the damn. You protect correctly. Mm-hmm. If you go back and watch it, our technique was horrible.
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Well, they came between our long snapper and our left guard, who was Desmond Watson, the big guy.
Why is Desmond Watson playing in that situation?
Because he's a big body.
Because he blocks,
You put big bodies in on field goal and extra point team, and he just kind of ducked his head, and they just slipped right through. And easy block. It was an easy block. So I don't know if Kentucky saw something. I think it was Paschal, or I can't pronounce his name.
Pascal,
Pascal. He's a really good player.
Yes.
I don't know if they saw something on tape from our technique, or if it just was that one fluke play that we didn't do our responsibility. But that's the biggest play of the game. I mean, you can talk about the penalties, talk about this, but like I said, if we just missed that field goal, we're still ahead 10-7.
Yeah.
And they had completed. I mean, buddy, think about this, because I think people bash Ty Grantham all they want, but he had a good plan.
He did.
His kids played well. I mean, their quarterback completed 7 passes. And would they have 211 yards of total offense?
Something like that, yeah.
And they had about 55 of it on one play.
Yeah.
On the wide receiver screen.
They couldn't bring him down at the end there a few times, but
that dude's quick as a cat.
But by the way, I think the point was made that they were standing him up to try to strip the ball too at that point in time. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is one we're going to dissect for a long time, and going back on it, it may be in the end we look at it and say what happened in the season. One, Florida couldn't make the 2-point conversion, misses an extra point against Alabama. Could have won that game, all right? 2, lack of execution by the offensive line, poor special teams play, and an inability to adjust. I still go back to that last 2 minutes before the half. I know all the reasons why you want to take a lead to halftime, but to me, when you got 2 minutes in your Dan Mullen, if you say, what if we don't score another touchdown, which, by the way, they didn't. You can't give up those opportunities, and that was an opportunity. I've seen Coach Spurrier's offense throw it out of the end zone many times, and you've thrown it out of the end zone. When it comes time, you need to score. I think that was unfortunate, that decision. I don't know if it'll work, but I'd even say Put the AR-15 in there and run that Kodak play to him. Let him throw the ball. Do something. Get the ball down. Find a way to get the ball down the field in that situation. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. But I don't think he trusts anybody to throw the ball a bunch.
And that's the issue. Doesn't trust you.
Yeah, well, it could be an issue all year, the rest of the year. Before we let you go, buddy, I want to get your thoughts. There were a lot of other big games in college football.
Yeah.
Your thoughts? Cincinnati beats Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like they're going to lose. Will they get into the playoffs?
Yeah, I just see that one coming either. I thought it was a good bet to take the 1.5 in Notre Dame at home. But obviously, Cincinnati is a better team than I realized. I really watched part of that game, and I think they might be the real deal. Now, can they sustain? It's a long year, but boy, that was an impressive deal. And yeah, they can get in it. They can get in it. A lot of people will be rooting for them to get in it.
Yeah, and then in the SEC, obviously, Georgia was very dominating of Arkansas, which I've said on your show and every show I've been on, I was not a believer in Arkansas.
Me either.
Now, they still could be a good team. Georgia is that good. But I think we got a good game this week. You got Arkansas playing Ole Miss.
Right.
Where Ole Miss, basically, after the first quarter, the game was over because of some of the dumb decisions by Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, went for it a lot. I mean, look, I said, enjoy your little dream while you got it, Arkansas, because it's going to be over, and it's over. Now, but I'm really surprised at Texas A&M. Jimbo talking about it. His backup quarterback's going to be fine. He wasn't. Look, think about it. I mean, Mississippi State, man, beat Texas A&M, a top 5, 6 ranked team at one point in time. You think Florida has problems? I mean, it's worse there. And then we saw Oregon go down. So look, that just is indicative. This is going to be a crazy year, Shane.
It really is. It's very exciting. I mean, there's Georgia and Alabama are clearly the best teams, and the rest is just kind of out there. But it's fun. That's why they play the game. I never would have thought before that game, I felt so confident that we were going to win that game handily. But that's the beauty about college football. You never know. Emotion, crowd noise, silly mistakes, a play here, a play there. That's the first time I've ever seen a crowd storm the field, buddy, in all my years.
That cost us $50K, right? The SEC fined him, for those who didn't know, $250,000. But as Paul Feinbaum said yesterday, it was probably worth it. No
doubt. And all they got to do is send out and have everybody that participated in the game or had tickets to the game just say, hey, send us $5 and that'll take care of it.
That's a good point.
Good point. All right, buddy. You got Cassidy on tonight. Who else?
It's a double coverage. It's Graham Hall. Cassie and Graham now do the show that she used to call Double Trouble. Now we have to go back to double coverage. Cassie will explain her question to Dan. We'll play the clip of her asking Dan the question, and the clip. She was doing a very good job yesterday on Feinbaum of explaining the situation. Then don't think for 1 second she doesn't know football. She knows from football.
Let me ask you this, buddy, and I'm sorry to keep you this long, but this just came up. Because, Cassidy has the right to ask that question. Mm-hmm. Now, do you think Dan's going to hold that against? How do coaches, do they do a whole stuff against you reporter guys?
Yeah, sometimes they do that. They do. And as long as you brought that up, allow me to respond on this one thing. We have one guy who's been following my show for 4 years. He was in and out. He likes to be controversial and outspoken. He comes on Monday and basically says, I hope you guys have enough guts to ask a tough question. Ask the question, Dan Ronan. Don't let him off the hook. I mean, look, that's very macho. But and I know in the press conference, I think we got people who got guts to ask the question. Cassidy asked it yesterday. Mm-hmm. Were you out coached? That's a gutsy question. But don't come in here with all this expertise about the media, of which you know nothing. You've never been on a beat. You've never been to practice. You never asked a coach. And and I know you can get shut down completely and not to get another word out of the guy. It happens. So you have to ask the tough questions, sometimes obliquely, a little different way. And, and you do the best you can to have it, because you have to have a dialogue, Shane, or you got no show.
So do you think it's easier to ask the tougher questions now with everything being on Zoom and you're actually not right there face to face with the coach?
Maybe. I've never believed in that. I've always believed in all my life is that when you're doing an interview and you ask a tough question or you write something that's critical, you show up the next day and give them a chance to take a whack at you if you want to. That comes with the territory. So understand these guys who were experts on being a media person, they don't know what it's like to be humiliated by a coach. And it happens, but you have to be willing to put your armor on and take the blows. If you're in this business, you got to know I've had my fallouts with people, some Gator coaches included. And, you'd like to see the Gators win, but you have to have some modicum of some kind of integrity. And people say, oh, buddy, you're just a homer. Shane, you're just a homer. Well, maybe part of that's true, but the other part of that is you're honest enough to know there's something not right, and you ask the question about what it is, even if it's a little bit offensive, like what happened to your snap counts. Dan wasn't real happy about the way I asked that question, but hey, whatever. I had to ask it because something wasn't right there. I figured it out. Anyway, that's a long answer, long response. So yeah, that's part of the liability of being up in the media. If you're honest and you ask tough questions, you're going to get whacked.
Good stuff, buddy. If anyone is tuning in today for their first time watching my program and they want to see and they want some Gator bait stuff, how do they get to?
Thanks for asking, man. Yeah. Please support us. We're just a little mom and pop here, and I appreciate those people who do. If you want to subscribe, please go on to GatorBaitMedia.com. All kind of packages from just a once a month or whatever, or annual. And we're just a we're unintentional nonprofit, I might say. And we try to get enough money to pay the people working. We got a great group of people. I'm proud of the guys. I'm very proud of Cassidy, very proud of France, very proud of Ainsley. And we got more young people. And this is part of a teaching tool that we use for young journalists. And we got some really good ones. And we're going to help them get their degree in the real life journalism.
Good stuff, buddy. We appreciate you taking the time to join our program. Sorry about the Facebook issues today, but you understand. That's right. All right, buddy. Take care, my man.
Thank you, Shane.
That's Buddy Martin. Join us on the Titan More Hotline. When we come back, we'll be joined by Gator wide receiver Trent Whittemore.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Wrap Spot, Aikido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Are you tired of being sidelined by nagging pain? Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and Dance with the Stars champion. Happy to tell you about QC Kinetics and their biologic therapies for treating pain without drugs or surgery.
Are you suffering from chronic pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, or lower back? Are you tired of living with arthritis pain? QC Kinetics offers natural pain treatment that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints.
Listen, I know pain, and I've seen firsthand how powerful biologic therapies can be. Patients at QC Kinetics rave about their result because they're getting their lives back. They are getting moving again.
These exciting regenerative treatments used to be available only to pro athletes like Emmitt. Now they're available to anyone thanks to QC Kinetics. Call today for your free consultation.
Get long-lasting results from my friends at QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. In North Central Florida, call 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Nike, Prime and Pearl, Regal Cinemas, Medici, Dave & Buster's, Skechers, and the HBC's new restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Make your reservations today at spurriers.com, and now open Thursday through Saturday. Visors, Tailgate, and Rooftop Bar. We'll see you at Celebration Point, where the Gators go to celebrate. But now we're going to go to the Titan More Hotline, and we're joined by Florida Gator wide receiver Trent Whittemore. Good morning, Trent. How are you?
Good morning, Coach. I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Trent, it was a tough one there in Lexington Saturday night. Just talk a little bit about what it was like in the locker room after the game.
Yeah, it was obviously a tough game, tough one to swallow for sure. A lot of guys upset for obvious reasons. Not a game that we should have lost. So just a lot of guys disappointed and, just upset with the outcome.
Yeah, I think you had 4 catches for 36 yards, 2 on the opening drive. Going into the game, did you know that we would be trying to target you on that first drive?
Not necessarily. I think it's just how it worked out there on that first play. They played kind of a soft coverage over the middle, and then we had another play, sequenced after that was ended up coming to me as well.
We got a bunch of texts here on the Titan More text line. Let me pull them up here. The first one comes from Joseph, and Joseph wants to know, Trent, during the game, were there any mentionings of changing the snap count?
Not necessarily. I mean, we just weren't able to get on the same page at times throughout the game, and that's just something we need to work on as we go into more, difficult road environments later on in the year.
Yeah, let me ask you this because, I played a long time, and it seems like all colleges use this clap. And like I said, I never have any experience with it. Can you really hear the clap during the game?
Yeah, I mean, you can hear it. Honestly, I play receiver, so I'm kind of far out there, and I don't really listen for anything. I just watch the ball. But I know, guys on the line and stuff who, it's been a thing in college football for a couple of years now. So I know guys can hear it up there.
On the Titan More text line, it comes from Sheila. See if I can read. My eyes are getting so bad. I guess she's referring to this week's game against Vanderbilt for homecoming. Trent, what do you think about wearing the throwback uniform?
Yeah, I like the throwbacks. I think it's a cool thing we do every year. I know it's the orange helmets this year with the old UF logo, which is cool. It fires me up to be in the throwback unis. Hopefully we get some good action shots of ourselves wearing the throwbacks this Saturday.
Yeah. Trent, I want to ask you before we get to the rest of these texts, did Kentucky show anything defensively that y'all hadn't seen on tape? Did they, because a lot of times with an offense that has a running type quarterback, defenses kind of, change their fronts, to be able to account for that running quarterback. Was it anything different that y'all saw?
Not necessarily different. I think they came out and did some things a little more than we expected. Some cloud coverages like that with odd fronts to the boundary, maybe to have a little bit more run support there and things like that. But nothing that we hadn't seen. Just maybe majored in some things that were maybe a little different than they did versus other teams. Betty
asked on the Titan MR text line, why didn't Coach Mullen let you throw the ball this week?
Well, considering I play receiver, it's not an every week thing. So I guess that's the reason why. Maybe it'll happen again at some point in the future.
Yeah. William says, Trent, how do y'all bounce back from a game like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good question. It's a lot to do with the attitude of the guys on the team. I think we have a lot of good leadership on this team, a lot of guys who really have a desire to win. And just push the guys around them. That's what we got to do this week at practice. We got to come out and be, high energy, a lot of drive. We still got a lot to play for, and that's the message on the team right now. And we look forward to getting back in the win column on Saturday.
Speaking with Trent Whittemore here on the Titan More Hotline at Chris Doring Mortgage. They do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. Tim asked, Trent, What was the reason for not trying to score before the half?
I don't know. That's what, Coach Moore was just trying to figure out some things, make a couple adjustments in the run game, I think, just before he went into half. So I think that was his reasoning there, just trying to kind of figure out what we were doing before the half run game wise.
Yeah. So, I was at the game and I helped him call the game. I've never been a part of crowd storming the field. Did you get caught up in that whole mess, or did you get out of there before that?
I was kind of walking off as everybody was jumping over the fence and stuff. I mean, I've seen it a whole bunch on TV, obviously growing up, but never had it, happen to me as the opposing team, which is not an experience that I want to have again. But I was able to get out of there.
From a crowd noise standpoint, I would say that's the first game you've played in on the road where it was a packed stadium, because last year, obviously with COVID, it got pretty loud for 65,000 people, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it was pretty loud in there. I don't think it necessarily compared to the Swamp or, other places like LSU that I've been, but it was definitely rocking a good little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so you put Kentucky behind you. Obviously, it's not the result everybody wanted. You get ready for homecoming. It's always a big weekend, a lot of activities going on. Just the mindset of the team, as you said, some of the leaders. What did they mention to the team leading up to this Vanderbilt game this weekend?
I think just like I was saying, it's just something, we got to rebound. We got to put things behind us. Coach Bowen always talks, we can't change the past. We could talk about it all we want, but it's not going to do anything. So let's put our energy towards controlling, what we can control. And that's this Saturday and the Saturdays after that. And I think that's just the message from all the leaders on the team, is that we got to buckle down and like I said, get back in that W column and play well on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, no doubt about it. Well, Trent, we appreciate you taking the time to join us. Good luck against Vanderbilt. Should be a good one. Homecoming, a lot of people will be back in town, and hopefully the Gators can come out with a win. We appreciate you taking the time, bud.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
That's Trent Whittemore. Join us on the Titan MR Hotline. Come back. We'll wrap up this Tuesday edition.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. Our Gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, South State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co. Some of our touchdown sponsors are MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avera and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Visor's Tailgate and Rooftop Bar, located on top of Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point, is now open Thursday through Saturday. Visor's covered open-air bar is the perfect place to gather after work or meet up with friends. You'll love the handcrafted cocktails and elevated shareables available every Thursday through Saturday. Visor's Tailgate and Rooftop Bar is perfect for fans of great food, great drinks, and great weather. Visor's not required. High spirits are highly encouraged. Visit spurriers.com/visors.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Center State Bank is now South State Bank, but they still put business first. They understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. South State still has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. South State Bank, Bank Forward, member FDIC. I want to thank Buddy Martin and Trent Whittemore for joining us on the Titan MRI Hotline. Let's get to this day in sports before we get out of here. Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. They're now hiring team members at all levels of experience, $1,000 signing bonus. Give a Comfort Temp a call at 352-376-2366. This day in sports in 1991, Fresno State ties the NCAA football record with 49 points in the second quarter as they rout New Mexico 94-17. 94-17. Fresno beats New Mexico in 1991. That's This Day in Sports, brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Hope you enjoyed today's program. I had a little technical difficulties, but that's Facebook for you. Anyway, make sure you tune in tomorrow. Tell all your friends and family about our program. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you by Wrap Spot. See you tomorrow.
1st and 10. Matthews, near side, wide open, Alonzo Sullivan. He may go. Touchdown, Gators.